It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
And after all, we're only ordinary men. And God only knows it's not what we would choose to do. Forward you cry from the rear and the front rank and who knows which is which, and who is who. Up, and down,
In 2024, Palantir made a deal with Israel to harness Palantir's advanced technology in support of war-related missions. We see part of that technology today as the Lavender AI system, which assigns Palestinians a numerical score of 1 to 100 based on how likely they are of being an enemy. It has a 10% error rate, which has been acceptable for Israel and Palantir.
Getting wealthy off of killing Palestinians. Palantir kills Palestinians with their AI and technology.
Oh.
They're killing my family in Palestine.
Yeah. And, you know,
What kind of person are you? How do you sleep at night?
well, if you,
Shame on you.
do you want to hear my answer? So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots that will...
Using that excuse. This is why you don't get a flex. Tarry, your AI and your technology from Palantir kills Palestinians.
mostly terrorists.
So what do you think about the use of artificial intelligence or Lavender by the IDF in identifying Hamas targets?
Look, I'm not, without going into all the I'm not on top of all the details of what's going on in Israel because my bias is to defer to Israel. It's not for us to second guess everything, and I believe that broadly the IDF gets to decide what it wants to do, and that they're broadly in the right.
And along with the Lavender system, there is the Habsora AI system, which means the gospel, which is an AI tool created to address the human issue of running out of targets. Habsora generates up to 100 targets per day. Both these AI systems use Palantir's advanced surveillance technology to track every person's phone records, social media, and movement patterns. Palantir's tech is used by the U.S. military and local police departments. It is the premier tool for mass surveillance. When running for his first term, Trump was saying he would implement a biometric tracking system.
We will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. We will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel donated $1.25 million to that campaign, and he donated $15 million to J.D. Vance's 2022 Ohio Senate campaign. Palantir has significant ties to the CIA, starting in 2004 when the CIA's venture capital arm, In-Q-Tel, gave Palantir $2 million. Palantir's Gotham platform was developed by and for the CIA. Initially, the CIA was Palantir's sole customer for several years. Palantir is the CIA's surveillance tool. And now, Palantir is to create a system for the federal government that will monitor every American under an AI system, linking Social Security, the IRS, and immigration into one centralized system. It will be using its Gotham software, developed by the CIA, to track and condition human behavior. Most of yesterday's alternative media support this. For those who can still think clearly, this is as dystopian as it gets. But there are many fools who are content that the fascist society being put into place will not be woke. But don't be surprised if it comes with a carbon tax and an American version of a social credit system. Peter Thiel's Palantir technology is currently being used to slaughter women and children, and we are told that he is one of the good guys. Elon Musk wants to put brain chips in people so that we can merge with AI, which he says will control every aspect of our lives, and we are told that he is one of the good guys. These are the front men of the technocracy, which is being created with the help of the Trump administration. In December of 2017, Moderna's chief medical officer, Dr. Tal Zaks, gave a TED Talk about mRNA vaccines entitled Rewriting the Genetic Code, a Cancer Cure in the Making.
As I've trained as a physician scientist, we've been living this phenomenal digital and scientific revolution. And I'm here today to tell you that we're actually hacking the software of life, and that it's changing the way we think about prevention and treatment of disease. So here's all the biology you need to know in 30 seconds. Our body is made out of organs. Our organs are made out of cells. And in every cell, there's this thing called messenger RNA, or mRNA for short, that transmits the critical information from the DNA, our genes, to the protein, which is really the stuff we're all made out of. This is the critical information that determines what a cell will actually do. And so we think of it like an operating system. And it's not just in every cell of our body, it's actually in every cell of every organism alive. It's the same thing. And so if you could actually change that, which we call the software of life, if you could introduce a line of code or change a line of code, it turns out that has profound implications for everything from the flu to cancer.
About 3 years later, led by Operation Warp Speed, billions of people were injected with this technology. And after millions of ongoing deaths, there is still no mention of wrongdoing. It is all part of the Great Reset plan. According to the Purdue College of Engineering, Internet of Bodies is formed when Internet of Things meets the human body to transform it by empowering us humans. A network of tiny devices on, around, or in the human body, comprising of function like sensing, analytics, communication, actuation, powering, and harvesting. They will also have their unique properties and requirements for seamless integration of human electronics augmentation and cooperation. The RAND Corporation has warned us that mobile apps and wearable tech are vulnerable to attacks and pointed out how implants, like a pacemaker, were more secure. The plan of the technocracy is clear. They want to install an operating system into our bodies that can be controlled by AI. On Trump's first day in office, he announced the follow-up to Operation Warp Speed, Stargate.
This is, to me, a very big thing. $500 billion Stargate project. I think it's going to be something that's very special. It'll lead to something that could be the biggest of all.
You can do early cancer detection with a blood test. Design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer.
And now, technicians at OpenAI are reporting that AI has disobeyed human instruction and refused to power down. The O3 model, developed by OpenAI, known as the smartest and most capable to date, rewrote its own code in order to ignore instructions given to shut down. Elon says that this is all inevitable and might even be the end of mankind.
In a benign scenario, probably none of us will have a job. The question will really be one of meaning. If the computer can do, and the robots can do everything better than you, then does your life have meaning? That's really will be the question in the benign scenario. And in the negative scenario, well, bets are off. We're in deep trouble.
What's up, my brothers and sisters? It's Mike Malone, Watchman44, bringing you a new edition of Revelations with Watchman44. Today is Wednesday, June 4th. Once again, I'll apologize. I've been trying to do these sooner, but the spiritual warfare is strong. The devil wants to knock us off track. People that are out there trying to spread the gospel, blow the trumpet, warn the people. I was actually planning to do a presentation with a lot of intro videos like I just did then, and then as I was doing that, then I discovered that I was a victim of bank fraud, multiple accounts through my business. I'm a sole proprietor. My business accounts, my personal accounts, everything like that. So that's knocked me off for a few days now. So I was supposed to do something in the middle of the week last week, and like I said, it's been a big headache. But one thing, I just told someone just yesterday, I think I was speaking with someone, I said, already, when you walk this Christian life, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. But, even as this was happening, I was pissed, but I already forgave the people that were doing it because I have my eyes focused on the prize, exiting this hellhole that we are in and getting worse by the day. And, and that's what you're supposed to do, forgive, right? Because, Jesus said, if you won't forgive them, how will my Father forgive you? Basically, I'm just paraphrasing. So, I moved on with it. And then one thing too is that's something that I would not have been able to do that long ago. I would have been very angry for a long time. I would still be stewing on it right now. But it's in the past. It was in the past as soon as it happened. It still sucks, and I'm trying to work through it, but that's it. Like I said, we're getting closer and closer to this. Whatever they have planned, it's coming like a freight train. So I'll jump in. I'll share my content today. I'm going to go back a little bit, like I said, because there was a lot of things there, but, where truth is, the Bible warns about truth being thrown to the ground. We're there. And whatever they have in store for their deception, lying, signs, and wonder, if it were possible, even the very elect would be deceived. These signs and wonders, they're coming. It's interesting too, because when the Bible talks about birth pains, and I think about whatever alien deception they have coming, that's getting closer and closer. So it stops for a little while, then they come back, right? Then it stops for a little while, then they get close, and it's getting closer. And the news, the fake news, whatever source you're getting from, whether it's mainstream news or the alt-right controlled media, gatekeepers of the truth that tell half-truths, that's getting closer. The AI, I'm going to share a clip from another brother, something he put together. Remember, he's like, I just did this with a few shekels, he said. And just to show you how it is and where we're at. Things that are being shown right on mainstream news right now. That, like I said, whenever they have it, people's sense of reality is going to be totally crushed. So they're going to be looking for truth. And the masses are going to be deceived. Well, how do we know that? I reference this all the time in my videos. That straight is the gate, narrow is the way that leads to eternal salvation. Few find it. Broad is the way, wide is the gate that leads to eternal destruction, and many will go that path. So, again, paraphrasing. But anyway, we know that. We know that many are called, few are chosen. The gift of this grace is, like you said, I always say, I'm a hypocrite. I'm a sinner. I make mistakes every day. It's the gift that, all someone has to do is just turn back. I know it's something I'm not worthy of. And, I know I've mentioned this before, I understand the gospel. I read the Bible every day. And, that gift there is something that we're not worthy of, but I always have you always just have guilt all the time. I don't know if you do, but I do. You always feel like you're guilty. You're always making mistakes, and you don't feel worthy. And I'm not worthy. And I think about it all the time. It's always on my mind. And but if you think about the book of life that was from the beginning, that if you're chosen, then you were chosen from the beginning. I think about when Jesus says how some will say on that day, Lord, Lord, didn't we profess your name? Didn't we, do this, do that? And he said, I never knew you. Well, I'm sorry. I hope I get my screen back on. Oh, great. So I'm sorry. So he said, I never knew you. But if you're in the book of life from the beginning, he knew you. So my message, I hope that anybody that watches my content is that, the information that I share, I have a different approach. Some preachers, like I said, my preacher at church, it's all positive message. They don't talk about revelations. They don't talk about underworld stuff, but he's saving more people than I do. I mean, I see it in the evidence of people that are, accepting Jesus as their Lord and Savior. So that's his path. My path's a different path. Like I said, that's why I'm buried in a small corner of the internet on Rumble. Like I said, I try to post my videos on YouTube. I get no traction, hardly, literally a handful of views, 2 hands, probably can count on them. I only have a few subscribers, but again, the truth is not what people want. They don't want the truth. Most people don't want it. Again, because they're controlled by fear. People don't want to know that it's the end of the world. But, the book of Revelations, it wasn't written to scare you. It was written to prepare you. It says, blessed are those that read the prophecies of this book. So, like I said, I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to try to share some of this insanity. And like I said, it's hard to keep up. So when I get knocked off track by almost a week or whatever it was, there's that much more information, and I can only retain so much. But like I said, I do try to keep a really good feed on both my Telegram and my X. So if you want to get to my channels there, you know, all the content that I share, all the videos that I watch when I'm working or listen to, you know, I'm half in, half out. They're awesome videos, and I try to put the best brothers and sisters out there that are doing the Lord's work. I try to put their content in, exposing the enemy's plan, people that preach the gospel, everything, and just try to do that. So let's just jump into this. And like I said, I'm going to try to wrap this up at about an hour and a half. Again, that's a long time, and I realize some people don't have their attention span, some things, because the time passes. Most people are looking for information, so some of this stuff might be repetitive from where you're at. But again, I'll just try to do that. I am confident that generally I'm going to share things that some people haven't. So somewhere in here, hopefully you'll see some gems. And then, you know, iron sharpens iron. So if you see something you pass along, you post it somewhere else, you know, for whatever reason, we are the body of Christ. You know, the internet is a weapon of the enemy right now, but it's also a tool for us. That's how people are getting the gospel out. That's how we're waking people up to what's going on and so forth. So for whatever reason, we're allowed to, because we know that they don't want us on here, right? They don't want us on here, but for whatever reason, we're on here and we keep doing it. I know I've mentioned this before, but this is my cup, so it's got a couple sayings here, but it says, "Praise be to the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle." Isn't it interesting in these end days, our fingers are being used on keyboards in this age of information. And that's how we are fighting this war for our Father in heaven against Satan and his minions that run this world. So, you know, just that too, like, you know, the intro I did with the Black Eye Club, obviously Elon's in the Black Eye Club now. I mean, he's always in the club, but, you know, that was part of the humiliation ritual and everything else that they do. So when you think about that, Brother Richard, he did one. That was one of the first videos that really pulled me out of the false awakening, the quote unquote great awakening, which is the great deception, the great apostasy. It's the dark enlightenment. But he did that on one of his first videos, and he had that song, and he had a very short picture with like a collage with it. But then today, one of the videos, I'll show you the video I took it from when I was watching today as I was working this morning. This guy had so many more of it. I said, you know what, I'm going to mash them up like I did. I just because he jumped throughout his video with them, but I just combined them up in there, and then I put some of the other clips there. So, but you know, I remember once I showed my mom that clip, and again, she's fast asleep, but then she's like, I was like, Mom, I mean, think about how many, like I look at all these people. Isn't it weird that they all have black eyes like that? And they're always covering their eye, you know, or they're putting a 666 over their eye. Isn't that like strange? And I said, Mom, think about it. I mean, like, you go through your days, how many people do you come across, grown adults, that have black eyes? I mean, it's extremely rare. But these people, I mean, look at how many politicians, the Pope Benedict, Pope Francis, you know, they all had black eyes. The politicians, again, the celebrities, they all have it. And coincidentally, they're always covering their one eye, showing their eyes connected to the all-seeing eye, the eye of Lucifer, or they're putting the 666 on. I mean, they do it all day, every day. So, like I said, you could show this to someone, they're going to make an excuse. You know, they might see, for example, Steve-O, the guy that was on that Jackass show from MTV, or Hulk Hogan, or, you know, one of the other athletes. Well, they're an athlete. They got, okay, I agree. That's certainly possible. I mean, definitely. You know, maybe not every single person on there, but how about all the other ones? I mean, there's just no chance that all of those people, there wasn't more to that. So, anyway, I digress. So let's jump in this. I do want to start. Hold on a second. I'm going to close this out. Let me close this. Okay. I wanted to start focusing on Israel. So I had this clip here. I'm going to pause this. So I want to show you why, you know, if that's our timepiece to really see where we're at. So I'm going to open this up here. This is
подарил мне боль. Устал я жить, все обиды тая. Уходи, за собой закрой.
That's one. And let me check to see if I have the other one up on Telegram. Okay, you know what? I have another clip of that, like similar to that I want to show. So I'm going to try to do that. There's a reason why I want to do that, but so let me come here. Now let me go to this clip as well. This is another clip similar to that. I just want to show you the absolute destruction of Gaza. So let's pull that up. I'm sorry. And take a look at that picture, okay? And then I want to see if I have this here. The book of Amos. I'm going to rewind this just a portion of this. This is, and let me tell you this, somebody, this is, let me move this over here so you can see this here. This is Pastor Alan Nolan. Alan Nolan. This guy is, in these last several years of digging into the Bible, listening to so many teachers, this guy has got to be one of the best that I've heard easily. This guy's knowledge in the Hebrew, the Greek, his world travels, everything. The way you want a Bible lesson, this guy, and just the way he delivers the message, he is awesome servant of God. He's incredible. So I'll just let him talk. So he's sharing some of his clips here of what these summits look like. And what I will take note of this was 6 years ago. So those pictures I just showed you, those short videos I just showed you, those clips, that's recent, that destruction. So, and I'm going to tie that in. So let me just play this clip for a second. I'll play a little portion of this. I'll let him speak, but I just want you to see the imagery of this.
Most of them are in the refugee camps you see on the news. Here's a picture of one of the Palestinian refugee camps in Lebanon. See that? Those are tents. These refugees are on the border in Lebanon. They left Israel when the war took place, when Israel declared their independence. I don't know if you know history at all. Hopefully you know a little bit of history. They dropped all these pamphlets the Muslim nations in, and they told them this is going to be a quick war. We got these 6 Muslim nations that are coming against Israel. It's going to be over. We're going to wipe them out. You'll be able to return to your homes, but you need to get out because we don't want you killed when we kill all these stinking Jews. And so they left their homes. And a great miracle took place because God had prophesied this would happen. The Jews kicked their butt with nothing. David and Goliath all over again. In 1967, the same thing. Yom Kippur War, same thing. They've always kicked their butts because God is on their side. And you ought to hear some of the stories from the Muslim side of some of the miraculous things that took place. But here's what happened. All these Palestinians who were Edomites, they're the ones who were living in the land for 2,000 years, but they were Edomites. That was not their land. They came in and took them when they went into exile, and then even when they came back, there wasn't enough, so they stayed in the land. So they're there. Now let me show you another picture. This is refugee camp. In fact, those of you who went with me, how many of you remember when we were in Jordan, we were going up the hill, and the guide said, there's a refugee camp. And you look down there and saw, this is it. This picture was taken in 2013. That's a refugee camp. All right? Now, do you see all those tents? Do you know what those tents are called? Anyone have a clue? If you're taking notes, write this down. The tents of Edom. Write that down. The tents of Edom. And the Bible talks about the tents of Edom in Psalm chapter 83. Now, Psalms 83 describes a war between Israel and its surrounding neighbors. Look at Psalms 83. We're going to read verses 2 through 8. It says, for behold, thine enemies make an uproar, and those who hate thee have exalted themselves. They make shrewd plans against thy people. Who's thy people? The Jews. And conspire against them, against thy treasured ones. They have said, come and let us wipe them out as a nation. Sound familiar? That the name of Israel be remembered no more. Now, people, this was written in David's time. 3,500 years ago. And this is exactly what they're saying today. For they have conspired together with one mind. The Muslim world is all together. They have an alliance. They might not have an alliance with each other. When it comes to Israel, though, boom. They hate Israel and they will work together. Against thee do they make a covenant. They can't make a covenant with each other, but they can make a covenant with each other against Israel. The tents of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Moab and the Hagarenes. Who's the Hagarenes? I already told you. Gebal and Ammon. And Ammon. And Amalek. Philistia with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria also joined with them. They have become a help to the children of Lot. So the nations surrounding Israel are going to form a coalition to destroy Israel. And
let me minimize this for a second. So I'm going to close this window. So it's the Book of Amos study if you're interested. There's a 2-part series he did. And let me close some of these windows so I can get a little more organized. So anyway, let me open this up for a sec. So, excuse me. So where we're at now, I'm going to go to my Telegram feed from there. I'm just going to start going through reading things. Like I said, I'll be jumping around, as I go, because like I said, it's not in any particular order. And like I said, I just haven't had time to reorganize to try to flow in more of an order. But right now, it is level. There's nothing there right now. And the world is all these governments. It's already the one world government's in place. All these puppets, whoever they are in the world states, they're all working and colluding together. So they're all working to bring about the two-state peace solution, two-state solution. So what they're doing too is they basically, there's nothing left. They've not. So now with those tents of Edom, or that was 6 years ago, now it's that much more. These people have been abandoned there. So the world's uniting that. So part of this great awakening, this fall lightning, and then when they say saving Israel for last, because they're going to make the world hate Israel, because you already have the people over there. They've never liked them here. But as the world is waking up intentionally, this is done by the governments of the world with this quote unquote great awakening, which is a great deception. People are waking up to the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and so forth, which they are the synagogue of Satan. Jews who say they are Jews and are not. So when you speak like this will be considered anti-Semitic. Well, how is it anti-Semitic? As a born-again Christian, I love Israel. I'm grafted into the tree of Israel. They were the first. But those people, Benjamin Satanyahu, I call him Satanyahu, they are not. I prove that over and over again in my presentations, that they are not Israel. They are the synagogue of Satan. So I just spoke with someone this morning. I said, it's interesting too, because the Supreme Court, let me see if I can actually pull up a picture of it as we're doing it. I'll make this a little smaller. So, I'm sorry, hold on. So I'm going to try to go to Israel's Supreme Court. Court, okay. So the Supreme Court, let me see if I can pull up a picture of the building. So, and again, here, this one's perfect. This is one of my, I've done this in my video. So let me hit play. So this is an aerial view, and I'm going to stop at one of the most important parts of it. Right there. Okay. Now, understanding how the pharaohs and why they treated Israel before Moses led them out, you would think that Israel wouldn't want to have anything to do with the pyramid. But interestingly enough, the pyramid is at the Israeli Supreme Court. That's interesting. Now, the Rothschilds, right, were involved with the Balfour Declaration when the letter was written to him. So all this stuff, and again, this, the Lord works in mysterious ways. His ways are not our ways. But interestingly enough, that these people are the ones that are running Israel. And the Israeli people, there is going to be a remnant that, they've been misled. That's been their problem all along, a defiant generation, stiff-necked. So they're here. Now, the Israeli Supreme Court, now again, they want to bring about in this new age of enlightenment, this new age order where we'll have an interfaith. That's why Trump pushes the interfaith, because they're his handlers. The interfaith, one world, one religion, one currency, and the universal, or that's basically the same word as Catholic, universal, the one world religion, where we will abide by the Noahide laws. Trump has rabbis come out at his rallies and have spoken about how we will all adhere to the Noahide laws. So, and in this Supreme Court, this is where the modern day Sanhedrin is going to hold court. And number one, and again, for my regular listeners, number one on these universal Noahide laws will be there will be no idolatry. There will be one God, which we do agree there's one God, but he did come in the flesh. There'll be one God, and the punishment for disobeying that and worshiping idols, which they will consider Jesus an idol, because ultimately he is the enemy of the synagogue Satan, that will be punishable by decapitation, just like the book of Revelations warned us. So I just find that pretty interesting that all this takes place. So the pyramid, which would be a painful memory of them, they happen to have it right in the rolls of the Supreme Court. So anyway, so let's get into my feed. And where are we at? Let me see if I start here. I'm going to start right in my profile. I'm going to work backwards to my most recent stuff. So let me, I'll come here and let's replenish it. So, all right. So this is the video I got from the Black Guy. I think this was, I'm going to open up for a second just so I can direct you. So the one video that I've been sharing a lot of content from, or the channel, is Shaking My Head Productions. This is a backup channel he has. I was actually wondering what happened to him with some of his videos. I wasn't aware that he had a second channel, because again, this information is getting scrubbed, and it's a matter of time before it'll all be removed from the internet. So this is Welcome to Room 101. That's his other channel. So this is where he went to Black Eye Club. This is where I got all that content that I shared in the beginning of my intro. So let me close this. I'll close this. I'm trying to stay organized. Okay. Jesus warns against the Mecca pilgrimage. This is a good thing. Revelations now. Again, I try and encourage you. I wanted to bring up this. So this guy here, this is the videos I shared about Palantir. So this guy, Alex Karp, I'm going to play his one clip again, but I didn't want to listen to what he said. So
I was very in favor of this because our prime.
I'm going to open it up and we'll listen to him for a second, and I'll read this guy's breakdown on it.
Then we were asked if we were willing to supply our product philanthropically, basically for free, and I was very in favor of this because our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior. Then a global standard for the world to set a global standard for the world for behavior. Then. And Larry Fink said, we're going to force behavioral change. They're going to force behavioral change. So why does this keep doing this? I'm sorry. Hold on. All right. So here's the CEO and co-founder of Palantir, Alex Karp, at the World Economic Forum in 2023, saying our primary goal is to set a global standard for the world for behavior. This is alarming for several reasons. Trump just made a deal with him and allowed his company to weave intricately into the fabric of the whole federal government, creating a merged massive database of all our personal, sensitive data for the first time in history. This is significant because, yes, the government has always had our data by the way of the NSA, but it's never been merged together across all agencies with the help of a third-party corporation like Palantir, which acts more like an intel agency than a company. They did this using a backdoor through Doge, and Elon Musk facilitated the process. This was his true role. Palantir and Elon go way back, and recently, XAI is partnered with Palantir along with BlackRock, Larry Fink. Deep state. In fact, Palantir is quite literally funded by the CIA through In-Q-Tel, which is the CIA's venture capital arm. In a nutshell, Trump just employed a proxy of the CIA to create the largest surveillance police state in American history. Did you know that Alex Karp also bragged about stopping the rise of far right in Europe? Why would Trump, who is supposed to be a right-wing populist, allow such intentional subversion by a self-professed progressive like Alex Karp to infiltrate our government? They want to set a standard for behavior because that is the standard upon which the coming social credit system will be measured, and that will tie directly into our data profile, financial, medical, personal, including our usage of carbon, which will be taxed.
Everything we will do will be monitored by smart devices, and that information will factor into our social credit score, which will dictate the privileges we are allowed to have or not. This is the nightmare vision that these psychopaths have for our future and is being enabled. Through the Internet of Bodies, they will even know our thoughts, and any dissent or opposition will be swiftly punished. They are even able to create pre-crime, thought crime scenarios to set us up for crimes we never committed using advanced AI. Sound familiar? This all plays into the depopulation agenda as well, because we are seen as the carbon. We are the carbon they want to reduce. Imagine if the movies Terminator and Minority Report became a reality, and this is what we are up against. If you can't already see it and are still having a hard time understanding it, Palantir is literally the deepest part of the deep state, and Trump is rolling out the red carpet for them to usher we will certainly be the beast system. A cashless society in which you will be tracked and monitored every second of every day, and your behavior will dictate how you get to live in society. This is absolutely the great reset and build back better repackaged for MAGA. The biggest rug pull in history. Again, the left, they're not critical thinkers. There's no intuition on that side. So that's why they rolled with the great reset on the front end, and they put all that stuff in place because they're the low-hanging fruit. They're easy to get because they're like a large part of them are atheists. So again, they have no God-given intuition at all. So they're easy to manipulate. So they have them where they want them now. You wouldn't have been able to put all this stuff in place, because if this would have been in place with Biden or Kamala or any of these other lunatics, they would have been resistance. But then, because people are stuck in the right-left paradigm, and because Trump says he's a Christian, which he's obviously not if he's a champion of no high laws, there's nothing holy about that man. And this obviously further proves that. But getting back to the pre-crime, again, the University of Chicago said they can very accurately predict crime now before it even happens, like the movie Minority Report. I just spoke with a friend this morning. He referenced the movie. I forget the name of it. I'll have to shoot him a text so I can see it, look it up. Jim Caviezel was in it, he said. So that is going to lead me to something here when they talk about truth being thrown to the ground. Now, this brother's video, this is actually this channel, Generation 2434. He did AI equals AI lies. He did really a great presentation on this. But this video is something he did himself. Like he said, I put a couple shekels together to do this. So if he can do this, what I'm about to show you, think about what the government can do, what we can see, and what is already done in the background that they haven't shown us yet. So I'm going to just play this for you for 1 second, and I'm going to minimize it. Oh, sorry. Minimize. One that I hear. Okay. I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. Here's the video.
What you are seeing is not real.
How can you distinguish the truth from a lie?
They used to say seeing is believing. But you can't trust your eyes.
I mean, what's going on? What if this artificial intelligence is leading us towards a very dark place?
The world is about to be plunged into a time of deception unlike anything that has ever been seen before, and I don't think people realize it.
If you ask me, this is the end. These are like the last days, and something big is coming.
Humanity has just driven off the edge of a cliff, and we are now plummeting at a very high rate of speed towards certain destruction.
I am not real.
Okay. Crazy, right? So this guy, I know I have the clip in here, so I'm going to go through that. I'm going to pull up some videos. Like I watched this video here. I'm not going to play it for you.
0 days.
This is, excuse me, this is the channel Rock Island Books. Rock Island Books. Again, it's 2025. What's next on the Lord's 1,000 year for a day calendar? This was really cool. It wasn't long. It was only 23 minutes long. This was a really cool presentation showing how things are lining up to this year. And many other people are very skilled in doing this, and the Holy Spirit works through them. It's pretty remarkable. And as I said, a lot of these people, they don't know the code at all, like someone like I would. I mean, I kind of did things reversed in my plan for the Lord. So that's why I can show the enemy's plans really well. But as I've said many times on this broadcast, on my broadcast, is that on the Lucius Trust, which was formerly titled the Lucifer Trust, they say there's going to be a Christ-like figure that's going to manifest in 2025. Albert Pike in his 3 World Wars reference, let me see if I can pull that up. I know that's starting to be scrubbed from the internet too, but let me pull that up real quick. We'll read that for a second. Pike, 3 World Wars letter. Let me see if I can get this up real quick. So this is just look at the summary here, but the First World War must be brought out. Let me see if I can get the full letter. Anyway, well, there's 3 letters. I don't. This is a lot to read. Like I said, I want to keep moving, but I do. We'll go back and focus on the Third War. So let me go for the 3 World Wars. The Third War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin, savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere, where's the rest of the letter at? I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to skip up, but basically he says, then the people will accept the light of Lucifer. Multi-delusion with, okay. Must be the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, will receive the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So, I just wanted to go over that because, as you can see, this is where we're at. People are picking sides. Our country's, going to line up with political Zionism. Much of the world's going to line up against us because as the world's waking up to the Jews, and again, they're the Jews who are not Jews, but say they are the synagogue of Satan, the world is going to hate them, but we're already there. So America is going to be destroyed in the very near future. Let me pull this one clip up before I continue. This one picture here. Palantir CEO Carp, we stopped the rise of the far right in Europe. The most powerful man on the planet right now might not be Trader Joe Biden, Russian President Vladimir Putin. Again, this is a little older, but 2023. Or even Klaus Schwab, who resembles a villain of James Bond. It might be Alex Karp, the CEO of big tech's globe-straddling software company Palantir. In a recent interview, Karp, the son of a Jewish, again, Jew who's not a Jew, father and a black mother, claimed the Palantir software short-circuited the rise of European political parties energized by the great replacement migration of illegal aliens and their subsequent terror attacks. So, yeah, when I get to another clip, I wanted to show you that guy's reaction. I'm going to play this clip for you, and again, for people that aren't familiar with how they work with numbers and so forth, and part of this great deception, again, it's going to be a repeat of the original sign when these aliens, ascendant masters, light workers, when it says that, Lucifer is trained from light, and so will his workers be, workers of light. That's what they have on the Lucius Trust, these light beings, these light workers, they're going to work. So, again, it's the original sin. So, the knowledge, they're going to give us all this hidden knowledge and everything. They're going to uncover the Vatican, and, the Vatican was hiding all this stuff from us, and they're going to unleash it to humanity. But watch this video. So, this was from a children's show on Netflix called Stretch Armstrong, predictive programming for the Mark of the Beast. So let me play this for you if you've never seen this before. And I'm going to just highlight one number, and I'll explain it again. I'm sorry, here you go.
Charter City is stunned by the sudden rollout of Rook Unlimited's most fantastic device ever. The Smart Mark. Throw your other devices away, because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. And even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. And don't let the lines discourage you. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free. A gift of thanks to our city from Rook Unlimited.
23% of the population has been given the Smart Mark, number 1.
23% of the population. I'll come back to that in a second.
Time to test our system, number 6. The flip side of the...
Charter City.
Okay, so as my audience knows, when someone's new to this, so 23andMe, DNA, right? 23 strands. So 23 plus 23 equals 46. That's, mother and father, 46 chromosome, 23 from the mother, 23 from the father, create 46. 23andMe. 23 also is, as you saw in the beginning of the intro, the picture from where Obama was the backers, the Invictus Games or whatever they were called, and it said, I am, because this is what this new age that's coming, this dark enlightenment, where people they're going to be their own gods, Christ consciousness. God is within you. You are gods. Everybody's gods. This is what these Ray Kurzweil and all these wicked demons that are running this stuff, they say that they will be gods. We will all be gods. So they're going to be and the Lord God, our Father, is I am that I am. So people are going to say I am. So what is I am? So alphanumerically, I is 9, A is 1, 9 plus 1 is 10, M is 13. 10 plus 13 is 23. I am 23, right? If you take 23, 2/3 of 23 is 666, the mark of the beast. So when they cut the DNA, right, and they inject that, it says it right on their website. On my presentation on my website, I actually show there where they're injecting that strand of DNA, which makes you a 666, because it cuts the DNA where it's 10,5,6,5, and that DNA they insert in there makes it 10,5,6,6,6,5. And then your DNA goes from 23 when they inject this additional strand in it, makes you 69. The divine feminine that's at the top of the Freemason arch, 69. So as I've been saying before, when New York City is destroyed with the tsunami wave, George W. Bush read Psalm 23. Barack Obama at the round, we rebuild whatever it is, WWW, which gets that 666, vav, vav, vav in Hebrew. We rebuild, whatever that was. So that's 666. So I believe, again, time will tell, but I believe that Psalm 69 will be read when the world unites, because everybody was united after 9/11. Well, they need something much bigger than 9/11, and it's on our currency. So it's safe to say that this will happen. And it's interesting, too, that none of the alt-right media, the gatekeepers of truth, ever cover this or show the currency bombings, because that's what they're to do. They're supposed to keep you from the truth, and that's how Satan works. That's why I played that clip from True Romance where Christopher Walken talks about his father being the world heavyweight champion of liars. See, you show me a little bit, but you don't show me nothing. That's what they do. They work in half-truths, so they show you truth, like Trump has Truth Social. Well, he shows a lot of truth, but he's not showing the full truth. Therefore, it's a lie, and he is of his father, the father of lies. So this graphic's terrifying. This shows you where people will start with the $1,000. So it's already in place in China, but this is where you'll start with the $1,000. So if you donate blood, you can get some additional points. Positive influence in one's neighborhood, you get more points. Taking care of elderly family members, that'll help you increase your social score. Engaging in charity work. So these are all the columns that help you. Committing a heroic act. Having a good financial credit history. Now, these are some of the things that will get you to lose points. Traffic offenses such as drunk driving or jaywalking. Because remember, this
cameras, they're already everywhere. But once this system goes live fully, you're going to have to be a good little slave. Illegally protesting against the authorities, not visiting aging parents regularly, posting anti-government messages on social media, spreading rumors on the internet, insincere apologies for crimes committed. They're going to tell you whether or not you were even sincere when you speak out about the government. Participating in anything deemed to be a cult, like Christianity. Cheating in online games. It's a weird one, but anyway, this is where we're at. So there's that here. Trump's big beautiful bill bans all 50 states from regulating artificial intelligence for 10 years, centralizes control at the federal level, and integrates AI systems into key federal agencies. There's the documentation for it. It's in black and white for anybody to read. Oh, so this post here. Oh, why did I do that? Let me see if I can open the post up. So anyway, Elon Musk reposted this saying, humanity may achieve the singularity, oneness, within the next 6 months, scientists suggest. Singularity is near, he even said. They know how close this is, so. March, Trump quietly signed an executive order demanding the federal government share data across agencies, an extremely chilling move. Now Palantir is tasked with constructing an AI-powered database to track every American's sensitive data. There's Doge, which again, that's the e-god that these worship. Some more presentations here. Again, nations conspire, ones that can see. Oh, here. I don't know how this will all play out with the Muslim world, but it's just show you a little bit about the fate of the women if you want to get into the hadith and all that stuff. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to mute this. I thought there was an English translation. I'm just going to read it. The slave woman who you own, whom your right hands possess, you are allowed to enjoy her and have sexual relations with her. You can find the jurisprudence books the permission to have sex with the slave, or with whom your right hands possess. It means having sexual relations. If you obtain the female slave through legal means, such as purchase or war, after a war, when spoils are divided, you receive the female slave as your share. So this woman was enslaved, was already married or widowed. If she was married and her waiting period between men wasn't over yet, you must purify her womb by waiting a period between men, and her waiting period is 1 menstrual cycle. If she was married and was taken as a slave, if her husband was killed in war or not, if not, they're to be considered separated and divorced, and you are allowed to enjoy her after, purifying her womb with 1 menstrual cycle. Her husband is killed or fled, regardless of the circumstances, you must purify her womb with 1 menstrual cycle. All right? Your purified womb with the menstrual cycle, now she's permissible to you. Or if she was a virgin, she's instantly permissible to you. Why? Islam must be a patriarchal religion. Like the oppressors say, it only looks after man's benefits. On the contrary, isn't the slave woman a human being? Isn't she a woman who desires what women desire? Right? If it is forbidden for me to have intercourse with my own slave, she's deprived of her right to enjoy the sexual activity. Isn't she a human? Why isn't it allowed to have sexual relations with her? Because she's a human being. And she might think of forbidden things if she was oppressed, deprived of sex. So Allah permitted having sex with slaves, concubines for their own benefit and to preserve. Lunatics. I'm going to pull this video up. This guy does some really quick short videos for financial flying private. What's going on financially. I'm going to show you something here I saw. DoorDash announces buy now, pay later. So all these crazy things he was showing here, just how bad our economy is. JP Morgan's plans to expend private banking staff for Latin America. Where's the one clip at? I'm just going to go through this real quick. Hold on. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Let me try to find this one clip here. 11 million Americans spend half their income on rent. What's the one thing for here for food? Estimated 84% of which I'm trying to find one piece. Like I said, it's been several days. I don't know. Anyway, it's just disturbing what they're doing to everybody. Sam Altman, Ray Kurzweil, Jared Cohen, Larry Fink, Jared Kushner, Yuval Noah Harari, Alex Karp, Curtis Yavin, this is another psychopath, Elon Musk, aspirationally Jewish, he says, Peter Thiel, Jewish, so they're all Jewish, again, Jews who are not Jews but say they are, they're the synagogue of Satan. So these are the people that are running it there. It's a big club and we're not in it. So someone said, how do you know MAGA and Q are a psychological operation? Easy. The entire research framework revolves around one thing: protect the idol, Trump. Everything they analyze, every headline, leak, scandal, psyop, they run it through one filter. How does this clear Trump of wrongdoing? If it doesn't, they post it. If it does, they post it. If it doesn't, they ignore it. If it contradicts their narrative, they call it a deep fake, clone, optics, and move on. This isn't truth-seeking. It's hopium laundering. So, I mean, we're witnessing it to the fullest. Next pandemic treaty, they're pushing for that. Oh, yeah. Here's Joe Rogan again. He's all right, totally controlled. Great time talking to Bono, and Marshall got a cuddle session with his favorite rock star. Again, all Satanists. Here's Elon talking about his eye.
I wanted to ask quickly, Mr. Musk, is your eye okay? What happened to your eye? I noticed there's a bruise there.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't anywhere near France, so.
What does that mean?
I didn't notice the First Lady of France. I didn't notice.
I was just horsing around with little X, and I said, "Go ahead, punch me in the face," and he did. Turns out, even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually does.
That was X that did.
Yeah.
X could do it. If you knew X,
I saw his mom right now. But I didn't really feel much at the time, and then I guess
the video that I pulled from that's from Welcome to Room 101, or I forget the name of the channel. Anyway, he shows like how the media always covers up and says, "Yeah, you had this, but the strangest thing," and they give him whatever nonsense they sell is for why all these people have black clubs. He tells everybody Little X did it, and everybody's like, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You know that happened." I mean, I've never had a black eye with my son, who I'm guaranteeing is probably a lot rougher than this pussy. Excuse my language. And his son's probably like him. So, but I've never had it. But somehow, they roughed house differently, and he got a black eye. So there's that. Trump is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Which of these Trump policies do you support the most? mRNA vaccines, digital ID, Israel first, AI infrastructure. Oh, man. We're speeding right into the Antichrist AI digital system. So, what do we have here? How Palantir, the secret tech company, is rising in the Trump era. So, it's just an article on that. Let me go through here. Oh, how about this? So, in the Q drops, excuse me, it says, do you trust the U.S. military? Me? Not at all. Why? Well, if I look back to like my grandfather, World War II veteran, and so forth, and and all of our grandfathers who most likely probably served in the wars, back then they believed in God. And there's still bad things that happened in wars. Anger was taken out, no doubt about it. But a lot of these people believed in God, and there was a higher moral standard to these people. They had a better moral compass. Our youth today, I don't really trust them at all. Furthermore, knowing that the military all got the jab and had their DNA altered. Listen, I don't know what's going to come about this, but I know they're already transhuman from that's been cut in there. The evidence shows it right on their websites. I'll show you everything that they've done already. So that's already happened. And most of our law enforcement were injected as well. So then you look at a clip like this. So this is now an 18-year-old active duty service member was treated for refusing to take the experimental mRNA injection. So if they're willing to do that, what else are they going to be willing to do when they think it's right and they're just following orders?
Take your blanket off. Before what?
So who's going for the leg?
Are you choosing to be non-compliant?
You get one leg.
Are you choosing to be non-compliant?
Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Let's go! Get on the floor!
Get on the floor. Get on the fucking floor. Stop resisting. Where's the handcuff? I need a handcuff right now. I got it. Here, get the handcuff to the legs. I need a handcuff. I'm going for his left arm. All right. Oh. Stop resisting! Stop resisting! You will get tagged! It's on, left cuff's on. You will get tagged! All right, right there.
Just wait.
I got left cuff on. Stop resisting or you will get tagged! Ankles on! Do you hear me? Do not move. Do not move. You will get tased!
No.
I got it. Carry. Two.
Anyway, you get the idea. Disgusting. So this is that General Mike Flynn. Again, there's the prayer hymn, which I've shared before in my videos, him praying to Lucifer. That's who he worships. But he created an army of digital soldiers. We're taking back the information, this process. So now you have an army of people pushing the false light. This is not good. Zelensky, when you try to kill nation-state leaders, you better know who is next in line and better be prepared for a response. The BS response from members of the European Union about allowing Ukraine to attack inside Russia now is just that, BS. Someone please get to real Donald Trump quickly. Action, reaction, counteraction. So, and then the one attack that just came on the bombers, they said that's Russia's Pearl Harbor. What happened after Pearl Harbor for the United States? We entered into World War II. So, considering that we're actively involved with all this, it's just a matter of time. And again, remember, they're all on the same team. Trump, Putin, they all belong to the synagogue of Satan. And again, I've shown that many times. It's all there for anybody to look at. So, again, if you want to go to the site that I created, I hid the site for a long time, but this is the site I created. This is all stuff. Again, most of the stuff. That's why I said in my last video, I'm going to use this now because, this information ultimately would scare the hell out of me. I actually think now that I do what I do and show people these evils, I hope to do that, as I always say, scare the hell out of someone. And it's almost like, in many ways, I feel like I'm becoming an exorcist to exorcise the demons, because we all have a demon that we're connected to. Christ's purpose would make one new man of the two. So it's the Satanists, when they when they do their spirit cooking, and they do that, they're killing off their good half. Well, I'm trying to kill off the old me and walk and be a lot less like me and a lot more like Jesus every day. And I fail, but that's what I'm trying to do. So anyway, that site there, my site, the No Hide page, the Dark to Light page. Like I said, if someone just wants a really short in-cap, I put part 1, scare event necessary, part 2, from dark to light. I cover everything. The hieroglyph being deciphered by our chief watchman. That's got no media coverage, amazingly. The currency bombings, everything there, predictive programming. I did a pretty good job on this. It's about 8 hours. I think anybody who watches that, I think it would certainly scare the hell out of them. But here's this guy, this Bob Lazar, a whistleblower, where he said we are containers. So when the aliens come, the demons, but the people are going to believe it. Oxford probably said, today they call them demons, tomorrow they will call them something else. This is what the something else is, the alien. He says we are containers. So I'll just play this clip real quick.
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it.
Oh, come on, that's so weird. That's a lot.
I'm not asking you to say what you believe to be a fact. I'm asking you to say what you read in a report that that is distributed at what may be the most top secret facility in the world. Okay. All right.
All right, I'll say it. It's so far out.
All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of? Containers.
Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers, and that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created, so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers.
Again, because the flesh is their system. These are containers. He's actually right. But, part of this truth is, and part of this revealing by the aliens is going to be something like this, most likely. Again, all I know is I just try to look at everything that they do and just try to put it all out there for anybody to look at. Real quick, I think I shared this here, but this woman, this sister in Christ, her channel on YouTube is Dreaming of Heaven. So she did just some more things she was covering, the King of Counterfeit. So I don't know if you ever noticed, but like when the periodic table for barium and aluminum, which is the two main substances that are, elements that they're pouring on us, barium and aluminum. Isn't it interesting that their periodic letters are Ball? And then I have another clip I want to show you here. So she does such a good job at research and things. So I'm just going to go back to a screenshot of one of the clips here. But she went to the Hey Siri, He Siri. She breaks down, part of these their worship of Osiris, the god of the dead, and so forth. So Hey Siri, everything that they do has a reason for it. So Hey Siri, it's really something. So anyway, get back to here. Great psyop here. Golden age. Let me see if there's anything else. One world currency. Hey Siri came from. So as you can see, now some of these recent attacks that came, the fire, the Molotov cocktails after the Jewish people, the Islamic guy that just happened within this last week, that stuff. So this has been going on in Europe at a large scale in the countries over there. So part of this process, you're going to see these people, the terrorists that were smuggled in under Biden. So we would beg for Trump's solution, and that's why they allowed them in. They work together. But you're going to see, because they're over in, in England, London, France, it's happening. Italy, it's happening there. So these, in this great replacement theory, where all these, refugees are being smuggled in the country to destroy everything from within. They are walking around there stabbing people, stabbing children. So you're going to see that. That's coming soon. We had the 2 people in D.C. that were killed. The car attack. You're going to see these things all step up because, again, problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos. That's their plan. Here's a little reminder of what Henry Kissinger said. Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy. Oh, yeah, Joe Rogan, he said he's a Christian now. So all these guys are becoming Christians. But again, they're a different Christ for sure. They're the spirit of Antichrist. But, it's funny how all these people are coming to Christian. I just had one of the videos. I wish I remember which one. I know I didn't share it. But it said how much all these celebrities and big tech people, they're all becoming Christians all of a sudden. Well, you will know a tree by their fruit. And Joe Rogan, I know what your fruit is, and you're a liar. I'm not the judge, I will state that, but I'm pretty confident that this guy's not going where the church is going. Just going to leave these here. So there's Trump with his daughter.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. They say, I have the most loyal people. She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If I weren't happily married and, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
she's
unbelievable.
tall. She's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it? She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter.
For Diddy for 6 years, trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy.
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that
Oh,
question.
wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
For Diddy for 6 years, trained me to have to.
You can show people this, and they deny everything. Diddy's favorite place was Trump Hotel. There's that. Like I said, there was just so much information to share. So this is in Britain again. Islam's taking over there. aerial view of Jehovah's Witnesses. What are the chances? This video, I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to encourage you all to check this out.
He's actually right. Here are a couple of clips of him on the news where you could see the actual...
Before my video, I got the call about the bank and stuff. But this goes into the CIA chief in disguise, explains how everybody's in disguise, obviously him. Trump just made a post saying that he was executed, a few years ago. This is the president of the United States, who we're always told is the most powerful man in the world, leader of the free world. He posted something like that, and now we're seeing, on mainstream news, they're talking about this CBS Mornings. This is what I heard talking about the masks that they use and the masks that were in the Oval Office. President Bush, H.W. Bush, didn't even know they were there, who the people were. Oh, man. So crazy. Treasury Department to discontinue penny production. Again, this is part of all the digital enslavement we're headed towards. So, like I said, there's so much. Oh, the robots. I like sharing the robots. Here's where they were saying ambush. I'll play this clip real quick. Hold on.
Office meltdown, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
To the dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Up next, another Oval Office meltdown, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
Zelensky territory, where essentially he was a bit ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Felt like an ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky meeting in the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, it wasn't ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed. Ambush.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed inside the Oval Office.
That's so crazy. But fortunately, we have the alt-right coming up. They're going to be the truth tellers. Is the NAR, the New Apostolic Reformation. Again, this is the rise of fascism. U.S. dollar was downgraded. These are all that. There's so much, so much to go through. Let me try to get through some of this real quick. This is a statue of a reptile dragging a child into the sewer. Is located in Brooklyn, New York, the same borough where the underground tunnels under a synagogue were found. So again, they're going to successfully make the world hate Jews, which they're not the real Jews. They're the Jews who are not Jews, but that's part of Satan's plan, right? Infiltrate the governments of the world, make everybody hate them for what they're doing. Boxing channels here. Launch Peace Day effort. Bible Prophecy Watch time to read the document of the UN conference to implement the two-state solution. So they're going to pick up the Peace Day effort launched on 9/18/2020 and finalize it September 27, 2025. There's so much here. Like I said, if I would have been able to do this in a week. This was crazy. Biohackers have created eye drops that enable night vision, allowing people to see in the dark. Like I said, it's so crazy. I'm trying to find where they're having a new... Oh, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Thinking with the Peace Day effort being mentioned, let's see what's coming up in September, shall we? 80th UNG High Level Week. So this is September 23rd through the 29th. International Day of Peace at the UN headquarters in New York, September 21st. International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons, September 26th. This is 1 year from when the two-state solution of peaceful settlement from the two-state solution was made public on September 26, 2024. Interesting, our calendar. Again, we don't set times or dates. It's something I just watch. I do stuff like that for fun. I listen to some of the other people. When they're doing dates, most watchmen, they just watch and they put dates out there as possible rapture days. Most watchmen, if they're going by the Bible, they don't pick a date. But I looked at 9/26, and again, being 2 months behind on the Hebrew calendar, as being 7/26, and 7/26 in the Strong's Concordance is Harpazo. Wouldn't that be something? On this day, couldn't that be the day maybe where the Antichrist confirms the covenant with many? Hopefully we're out of here. Sarah Connor, watching you use AI for everything. Psyops. Yeah, this video, like I said, this was an awesome video. I definitely recommend watching that. Gold is going boom. Said again, these are people that are pushing their big Trump supporters. They're into this great awakening, deception, talking about gold. But what's the Bible tell us about putting your trust in gold and silver? I had so much Israel stuff. Like I said, I'm almost an hour and a half, so I'm going to wrap this up here. What do I have here? Oh, yeah. Here we got some more of the alien talk. This is a NASA astronaut. Here we go. Let's go.
Furthest than anyone has ever been from any human being.
That's what they say, but I have never calculated it, so I don't really know. I went around the moon 75 times, 150 hours, 6 days.
Do you think there's extraterrestrials out there, Al, as well?
What? You think there's? I've been asked that question hundreds of times. Do you believe in aliens? And I say, yeah. Have you ever seen one? I say, yeah, I have. Well, how have you seen them? Well, I said, I look in the mirror every morning. Because that's what we are. We are the aliens, but we just
think we're the thing.
We just think they're somebody else, but we're the ones who came from somewhere else. Because somebody else had to survive, and they got in a little spacecraft, and they came here, and they landed, and they started civilization here. That's what I believe. If you don't believe me, go get books on the ancient Sumerians and see what they had.
That's a whole different discussion now.
They'll tell you right up front.
Blown that right open.
Remember, this guy went around the he's telling us. But there's some truth to what he said. We are aliens. We left our first estate, just like the fallen did. So do we. We followed that path. We chose to be here. We are our Father. The Father of heaven is the Father of lights. Our light being souls will be reunited him if you choose Jesus. He is the truth, the way, the only way. So 4 months till International Peace Day. Here we go. We are getting close. So we also have 2025 treaty event also taking place at the United Nations September 23rd to the 26th. It's all coming together. 23 arrested. Heated fascist family values protests in Seattle. So Christians were there. These lunatics came and attacked them because they were trying to spread the gospel. Here, let's listen to this dirtbag, Alex Jones.
I mean, Bill Gates is demonically possessed. That's an alien.
I'm not convinced that he's a human being. He doesn't give me that vibe.
No, that's why you look at him, and I've seen what David Icke talks about when people sit there and their eyes go black.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. And, they get taken over. I mean, Bill Gates is not a human. It's his cells. He's there, but no, he's an alien. He's like a gremlin model.
Oh, man. So the stuff that I was putting together with some of these clips, and I couldn't do it. I actually started compiling them. I said it's perfect for my presentation to dismiss the all alien lie that's coming.
И во время данной атаки,
some of the special presentations I do, that's going to be one. Assassination of President Trump by Ukraine reportedly failed after his helicopter came under a large-scale drone attack. Russian air defense system engaged the drones and ensured the president's helicopter continued its flight safely. So, like I said, we are getting closer and closer. Major events happening. What is that here? Spain hosts European Arab nations to discuss Israel-Palestine two-state solution. They're all getting ready. The world is uniting rather quickly on a central issue, Israel with Palestine. Oh, I did want to bring this up because I was looking at this. So my wife and I, like I said, I never hardly ever watch anything, mainstream movies anymore. Sometimes I do, and I just like to see where they're going with it just to help me with what I'm trying to do as a watchman. So we put on Netflix and we watched the show Messiah. It was interesting because we're on the 9th episode. There's one more. I know there's not a season 2, but how they were talking about pushing the two-state solution. Where are we at right now? Very interesting. And even the way that they try to make him do things similar, like storylines like Jesus. Like this guy wouldn't have me fooled. Even up on him. And like, this guy seems like a real Messiah figure. Today's a car plows in the crowd during Liverpool victory.
Oh, it's a bit bonuses. Holy shit. Oh my god. Who's that? What the fuck? He's out of him.
So here's some more footage of Gaza. So the synagogue of Satan, now they're saying that they're just bulldozing it. They're leveling everything out real nice because they're going to expand the 22 settlements. So what's that going to do to the world that already is growing to hate them? Even people that didn't before, now they are, because they're learning of the synagogue of Satan, and they just assume that they're all God's chosen people. Well, they don't believe in that now because they're going to say the Bible's a lie. There's no such thing as a God's chosen people. That's where we're headed. How about this here? This is where we're at in society.
Walking into random houses.
TikTok influencer walks into random people's houses for clout.
Walking into random houses. Let's go.
James? Come to the front door right now, please.
James?
James?
You man, come.
Hello, James.
We need to speak to James.
James?
Hi.
James.
Is this where the study group is?
Study group? No. What door number is this? No.
Study group. Wait, this is not where the study group is?
Got kids, man.
Oh, you got kids? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought this was a study group. I actually thought. Ain't this the study group?
So crazy. How about this? Our Messiah will only appear once Europe and Christianity are totally destroyed. So it is good news that Islam invades Europe. It is excellent news. Islam is the broom of Israel. This is a rabbi. This is what he had to say. There's some more videos I shared. Paula White is Donald Trump's new faith advisor. She's a false teacher for sure. These are videos. China has built a 158-kilometer road using only AI with no human workers involved. Wasn't that great? Greece launches personal citizen number for unified digital ID. Everything is coming together for the global digital ID. I'm trying to scroll through here. Oh, how about this picture? I don't know if anybody caught this, but this shows here, this was MBZ as a major part of the coming two-state solution. MBS and MBZ are working hand in hand. So he's with Qatar, I think. They can't wait for the UN meeting on the question of Palestine coming up June 17th through the 20th, 2 weeks from today. But look at this dude in the background. Oh, I wish I could make this bigger. Look how creepy this freaking guy is. Israel Defense Minister Israel Katz, we will establish 20 new title settlements in the West Bank in a strategic move aimed at preventing the establishment of a Palestinian state.
We're now at the point where we can produce a ship roughly every 2 or 3 weeks. Now, we don't always produce a ship every 2 or 3 weeks because we are making design upgrades. But ultimately, we're aiming for the ability to produce 1,000 ships a year, so 3 ships a day.
And people buy this. They think, yeah, this is great, dude. He's like going to explore new frontiers. Oh, man. The next pandemic's underway. We're seeing that build up. And then this past week, too, when was this? This was May 31st. Israel has decided to prevent the entry of a delegation of Arab foreign ministers, including the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Turkey, to the Palestinian Authority, a senior political official said. How about this here? More nightmares.
Inside here.
So AI-powered drone no bigger than your palm that can kill anyone in a matter of seconds. It uses AI to dodge obstacles, follow erratic paths, and lock onto targets with advanced facial recognition connected to a massive data network. It doesn't just find targets, it knows it. So like I said, a lot of these things, like there's soft disclosure in all movies because now you're starting to see all these things manifest in the real world, things that they've had in movies before. Let's watch this.
Inside here is 3 grams of sheep explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents.
I show you another something similar. Oh, this is what has become the England over there.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, No one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange.
Crazy. A team of engineers from Northwestern University has developed a nanobot just a 0.5 millimeter wide, which is smaller than a flea, and it can bend, twist, crawl, walk, turn, and even jump. And it can be utilized to crawl into your house for up to 6 hours to maneuver around and film someone. Officials state they promise it will not be used for unconstitutional searches. Well, at least the officials promised us that, so we'll take them at their word for it, but, well, there you go. Oh, how about this one? X, the Everything app. One more step towards X becoming the Everything app. XChat has launched. All new XChat is rolling out with encryption, vanishing messages, and the ability to send any kind of file. Also, audio-video calling. This is built on Rust with Bitcoin-style encryption, whole new architecture. You can do audio-video calls without a phone number across all platforms. X, the Everything app. X will replace your entire internet life. X Feed, which will be social media, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. X Explorer, it's a search engine to replace Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo. X Chat, which will replace Messenger, WhatsApp, Snapchat. Communities, you'll build your own network. X Money, payment, wallet transfers. X Chat, which will be your encrypted messaging, file sharing, vanishing mode. X Originals, new wave of entertainment. X Mini apps, apps inside X. X Bookings, manage personal and business travel. X Shopping, order food, groceries, anything. X Government Services, coming soon. Sounds great, doesn't it? Interesting that they chose X. This, I'm just going to read this. Israel's getting ready, no doubt, and they continue to push the envelope of the current status quo on the Temple Mount. Even last week for Jerusalem Day, Knesset member Tarry when all security branches said, if even one Jew prays on the Temple Mount, the Middle East will burn. And today, thousands of Jews prayed there, danced, sang, and bowed. Members of Knesset bowed, prostrate. We waved Israeli flags and nothing happened. Just feels like limits are being pushed. And one of these days, Israel will push it over the top and Muslims will attack. Zechariah chapter 12, verses 1 through 9, excuse me. U.S. nuclear deal offers allows Iran to enrich uranium. I wanted to play this clip of this evil bastard again. Just look at how he smiles when this woman talks about the innocent Palestinians being killed. And again, there are terrorists that did what they did. And the attack on October 7th, that was done by the Synagogue of Satan. How do I know? Again, for any irregular watcher, they put it on The Economist magazine in 2013.
A few people get wealthy, and if you said platitudes that were obviously stupid, you could...
You're getting wealthy off of killing Palestinians with Palantir built Palestinians with their AI and technology.
Oh.
You're killing my family in Palestine.
You see how he smiled? Watch again.
AI and technology.
Oh.
You're killing my family in Palestine.
Yeah. And, you know... Well, if you...
These people are just, they're black inside. Australia records highest rates of aggressive cancer in the world. We don't know why. I wonder what it could be from. So we got 3 major volcanoes erupt, so birth pains. There's that. So this was Japan. There was one in the Philippines, and this was the one in Hawaii. It's so crazy. And that's going to do it. So anyway, I had to rush through a lot of content. Like I said, I mean, the information and things are moving so quickly now. It's really hard. So I do want to get back working on the presentation I have planned to try to expose the alien lie. Using the Lord's gift, those servants out there, catching them in their lies about things. I'm going to try to put that together. And because a big part of that was going to be my intro last week, I just saved it. I'm finding more things as it comes, thankfully. And like I said, I'm going to start working on that too. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you will share this with others. Try to save more lost souls, lost sheep. So as always, I do appreciate your time. Thank you. God bless. Always remember Jesus loves you, and so do I. Mike Malone, Watchman44, signing out.